Previously, back in October 2020, that was the last time you saw my purple passion. A lot has changed since that video, and that is why I'm going to show you how I grew it. Hey my planty friends, it's CrystalRenèe here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining. If you're into planty videos, you're at the right place. Go ahead and subscribe and become part of the family. Be sure to watch to the end to get all my personal grow tips.
Give me my roses while I'm here. Rather be loved than feared. Don't really know what's up from here. Just speak up now and save your tears.
So back in October 2020, right before I chopped her, this is what my purple passion was looking like. She was gorgeous. She was trailing over the ends and was probably overgrown for the pot she was in. So I decided to chop her. Sadly, I didn't get any more footage of her up until 4 months later. Clearly, I had given her a repot and she had grown wildly out of control. So I decided to give her a hard pruning and cut her all the way back and start her over. Yes, you heard me. Start her over. I ended up gifting the remainder of the mother plant to my best friend. I have to check in on her to see how it's doing. I almost forgot to mention that my son took one of the cuttings from October 2020 to grow out a plant for himself. I think he did great. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any footage of the mother plant at this time, but apparently I chopped her again approximately 6 months later. And after another 7 months, you can see she grew like a weed. Are you starting to see the pattern here? After another 8-month stretch, it looks like I gave her a repot and her leaves were looking so lush. And from the looks of how short the leaves are, I'm sure I did give her a cut once again for the 5th time. And in just 3 months, she began to trail once again. And I did what I do best. You guessed it. I chopped her again. This time I decided to grow a second pot because the leaves from those cuttings were so lush. This is what it was looking like 5 months later. Just know, if you have a very small passion plant, within 6 months, you should have a full flourishing plant. Which brings us to February of this year, 2024. I decided to pot both plants up into one large pot, as you see here. And 18 days later, I decided to cut her one last time. I know you're probably wondering, Crystal, why do you cut your purple passion so much? If you haven't noticed, she grows back fuller each time that I cut her back, giving me that lush, bushy look that everybody wants for their purple passion. Let's talk about the propagation process. All you have to do is take a clipping from this plant, place it in some water for about 2 weeks, and you'll have a full set of roots as you see here. As far as sunlight, this plant loves very bright, direct sunlight while propagating and growing. The more sunlight this plant gets, the more purple you will see and the bigger the leaves will be. I recommend a well-draining medium and be sure to water when dry. This plant does not like to be dry. So here she is about 4 days ago, looking as beautiful as can be. I think she's the fullest she's ever been and the healthiest, I must say. And as you can see, I have upsized her to a 10-inch pot, and she is just loving life, living in her southwest facing window. And as far as fertilizer, I fertilize whenever I want. I don't have a designated time that I fertilize. I fertilize when I think about it. So I've potted up those last cuttings and here they are. What's so crazy is that when I first received this plant, they were about this size. So soon, these plants will too grow to be lush and beautiful like the mother plant. And if you're interested in having this plant in your collection, you can hit me up in my DMs and maybe we can work something out. If there are any cons about this plant, I can say that if you do not water on time, the leaves will begin to crisp and crumble. Either that or they will go limp. And if they go limp, you can revive this plant. It is very resilient. All you have to do is water it. Depending on how long you let her go without water will determine how long it will take for her to bounce back. But she will. Don't give up. Also, as you can see, it does not harm this plant to cut her back. Actually, it encourages new growth, promotes a more fuller plant. It also encourages the leaves to grow much bigger. And if you're limited space like me, cutting her back is a big help because sometimes she grows so out of control to where I don't know where to place her. So in order to keep her in a space I know she will thrive, it's best for me that I keep her tamed a bit. For anybody that's made it this far in the video, do me a favor. Go down to the comments and comment below how many times I said I cut this plant within this video. So I want to see how many people was actually paying attention. And if you are wondering about the texture of the leaves are a velvety texture. That's where it gets its name. Also, the leaves are actually green in color and they have small little purple hairs on them, which is also where it gets its name. And those purple hairs get more vibrant with more sun. Also, the backs of these leaves are a purple and it looks so beautiful from front or behind. It's also pretty cool to know that I have a plant in my home that comes from Eastern Asia. It's amazing how the plants we have in our home come from so many different locations. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you learned something on my journey of growing this purple passion / velvet plant. I know I've been missing in action for a while and it feels good to say I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you look forward to seeing the next video. And as I always say, enjoy peace, spread love, and be blessed. And until next time, happy growing.
I know I make the effort, I try to make it better. This life shit isn't eternal, I never become a burden. I know just how that can feel, I know that it can get real. But my squad off for the turn up, we getting money to come up. They really all know the deal, one goal is just to stay real.